Story 1. Me. Ma'am, I think you dropped something. Her. What? Me. Hopefully your standards. Nice to meet you. My name is ___. Story 2. Approaches woman. See my friend over there? He waves excitedly. He wants to know if you think I am cute. Laugh out loud. Story 3. Honestly, simple. Are you waiting for someone? If the answer is yes and she says she is waiting for her boyfriend or her husband, then you don't have a chance, so move on. If she says no, then you ask if you can join her for a drink. Nice, easy introduction. If she says no and then says, I've been waiting for you, then you know she is not genuine. Story 4. To a group of women. Hey, is anyone looking for a stud? Because I have a sexually transmitted disease and all I need is you. Story 5. You. Oh my God. Is your left eye okay? Her. Why? You. Because you have been looking right all night. Story 6. A new colleague at work came up to me with his hand out and asked, how much does a polar bear weigh? I replied, I don't know, a lot? He said, just enough to break the ice. He smiled and said, hi, I'm Jeremy. I decided to let him take me out. Story 7, the one that worked. We were together for 40 years. Has anyone ever told you that you have a nose like a ski jump? She called me a few days later. She got my number from another woman at the table I had dated. Story 8. Are you a camera? Because I smile when I look at you. That was said to me and it's so smooth. Another great one is, I've lost my number. Can I have yours? Story 9. A woman I was making out with kissed my neck passionately and then whispered, I want to express my love deeply. And that she did. Story 10. Well, great. I just had to meet my soulmate in my ugliest outfit. I promised to dress better on our second date. Story 11. I thought I would come over and say hello, or spend tomorrow wishing I had. I dated her for 4 months after that. Story 12. One time a lady came up and said, don't I know you? She didn't, but then we started to get to know each other. After a bit, I was like, oh wait, I see what you did there. Story 13. I tell my wife I would steal every chair in the world so that she can only sit on my face. It works about once every 6 years. Story 14. Hey, can you guess what material my shirt is made of? Boyfriend material. Add finger guns afterward for extra cool. Story 15. People in the United Kingdom will be aware of Sid the Sexist from the adult comic Viz. For everyone else, search for him online. He is known as the silver-tongued cavalier. He is an inept virgin, despite being in his 30s. Example, how pet my name Sid. Do you fancy a drink? No. Well, would you mind lying down while I have one? Story 16. A woman I had only met once before waved me over when she saw me enter a bar. I was there to meet other friends. She hugged me hello and said, wow, I love your pants. They look like something a 1970s adult film star would wear. Or maybe that's just because they make your genitalia look large. She may have had a couple of drinks before I arrived. I did not spend much time with the friends I had come to see that night. Story 17. When I was younger, I liked to use this for laughs. Has anyone ever told you that you look like a parking ticket? Because you have fine written all over you. But the smoothest, most effective line is just saying, hi, my name is __, and you are, or something like that. Story 18. I'm 5 feet 4 inches and grew up as a gymnast and swimmer, so I always had a good body. As a short man, when a woman would comment on my lack of height, I would look her dead in the eye and say, I am taller lying down. Story 19. I told my wife this line, hand on the Bible. We were at a party at my friend's house, all smoking in the garage. One girl got up to do something, and when she came back, I had taken her seat. She said I was in her seat, so I wiped off my face and said, let me clear this seat off for you. She hasn't left me alone since. We have been married 4 years and have a child together. Story 20. I used a pickup line from the television show Drake and Josh that my children used to watch. It worked the one time I recently tried it. A woman caught my attention at the bar. I walked straight to her and complimented her Han Solo outfit, which I absolutely loved. Hey, I like those boots, and actually all of you. You're very beautiful. I then turned on my heels and walked away. She was left speechless and unsure of what had just happened. She came looking for me, and we exchanged numbers that night. Story 21. I don't know if it is the smoothest pickup line, but it put a smile on her face and she giggled. Me, you didn't tell me. Her, what? She asked, confused. Me, if it hurt when you fell from the vending machine because you look like a snack. Story 22. Me, do you want to get pizza and go back to my place? Her, no. Me, what? You don't like pizza? Story 23. A girl was wearing the perfume Eau de Space, developed by the National Aeronautics and Space Administration for astronaut training and later marketed to the public. I said, do I detect a whiff of Uranus? Story 24. I had a neighbor in his 70s who would ask much younger women, what is the oldest man you have slept with? Most answers were within a few years, and he would reply, would you like to break that record? I do not think it was ever successful, but it did generate a laugh. Story 25. If you drop a bunch of nails, you can attach a magnet to a metal ruler and use it to pick up the nails smoothly in a row. Story 26. Me, walks up to person of interest. Hi, just wanted to say that I think you are very pretty. Her, ah, thanks. Me, feeling insecure. You're welcome. Awkward silence as conversation ends. Story 27. One time my brother and I were picking up some food, and the lady handing us the food said, are the last 3 numbers of your cell phone number correct? He said yes, and we walked out. When we were in the car, he told me that she was really cute. I said he could have given her my number if he ever wanted to call me. Story 28. Oh my God. Those are the ugliest pants I have ever seen in my life. We need to get you out of those immediately. Story 29. True story and genuinely worked 3 times. I am British and we have pubs that can have seating in an L shape. I took a small stool over to a corner table where a group of girls were sitting and laughing together. I sat on the stool to face them. I waited for them to stop talking and look at this young man sitting in front of them. I said, my name is Anonymous, and I've been told that I am bad in bed. I just need to practice with 1 or 2 of you for a second opinion. It worked 3 times. Story 30. As a bartender, a young lady came up to my bar and asked me what winks and looks fierce like a tiger. I don't know, was my response, which is when she proceeded to wink. We dated for a while afterward. Story 31. Someone once told me about a man whose tactic was, very early in the conversation, to announce that he had to warn her that his penis was tiny. He said, I just need to be upfront on the off chance that this turns into anything more, but I have a micropenis, smaller than anything you can imagine. Apparently, he got laid all the time, partly because he was funny and partly because of the curiosity this statement inspired. Story 32. Saw a girl post a picture holding a duckling, and I commented, that is a cute chick and an adorable baby duck. I was proud of that line for about 3 days. Story 33. Get your toothbrush and your passport, and meet me at the airport tomorrow morning. We will figure out where we are going then. My treat. Story 34. A man once said to my mother, I would crawl across a room full of broken glass on my hands and knees just to watch you. My wife says it is so bold that she would have given the man a chance. Story 35. I'll just leave this here. Best pickup lines I have ever seen. Commander Riker teaching young Wesley how to pick up women. Story 36. A man and a woman met at Yale Law School. After he could not stop staring at her, she walked over to him and introduced herself, saying, if you are going to keep looking at me like that, it is about time you knew my name. Story 37. Never heard a best. Sincerity always worked best with me. The worst? I bet your legs are tired because you've been running through my dreams all night. Gag, puke, go away. Story 38. Was your father a meat burglar because it looks like someone shoved 2 beautiful hams down the back of your pants? Story 39. A former roommate of mine swore this worked 2 or 3 times. I heard about it from him so much that one night he tried it in front of me. He said, "Hey, want to get a pizza then have sex?" She replied, "No." He responded, "What? You don't like pizza?" I had to put my headphones on that night to drown out the sounds. Story 40. My magic watch tells me that you do not have underwear on. Oh, you do? Dang, it must be an hour fast again. Story 41. A girl in a shop looking at clothes. Do you think this will fit me? Me, not as well as I would. It just came out. Not planned, but quite funny. Story 42. Do you know how much a polar bear weighs? No, I do not. Enough to break the ice. Hi, my name is John. Story 43. Not a pickup line, but the smoothest way to get someone's number without them even realizing it is to tell them you lost your phone and ask them to call it. I heard someone tell me about a guy using this method to get her contact information, and I believe I would gullibly fall right into the trap. Granted, it doesn't guarantee chemistry like a good pickup line. Let's all remember that the only difference between being creepy and smooth is how attractive the person being pursued finds you. Story 44. The smoothest pickup line is no line at all. Just slide up beside her and order 2 of what she is having. Story 45. Excuse me, my phone died. May I charge it at your place? This was said to me by a man. I found it funny, so I naturally said sure, and he gave me a ride to his place at 9 p.m. I am a mess. Story 46. Requires a certain setup, but if she has her phone in her back pocket, then I like to say, "Is that a phone in your back pocket?" Because that but is calling me. Story 47. Not mine, but from a red-haired friend. Hey, are you baking cookies? Because you just made this ginger nut. Story 48. Hello. See my friends over there? I look to see a group of people smile and wave at me. They were wondering if you think I am cute. Story 49. I'm writing a paper about the finer things in life. May I interview you? I don't usually do this, but I also don't usually see you. Then introduce yourself, give a flower, a drink, or whatever you choose. Choose your adventure. Have a coin. Heads, I buy you a drink. Tails, you buy me one. Either way, we're talking. It's all about the delivery. Be confident and smile. Story 50. Not exactly a cheesy pickup line, but I have always had success with, "Hey, how's your night going?" You can gauge a lot from how a girl responds to that. If she responds immediately and wants to chat, happy days. If she stares at you like you are nuts, move on. Story 51. You're really pretty. Pause and allow her to say thank you. Then say, "But I have been drinking all day." It always got a chuckle. I'm married now, but this was gold back in my single days. Story 52. 1. Did I miss it? Miss what? The beauty contest? Or do I still get to see the winner anyway? See someone walking with a pet. Ah, so cute. May I pet? If they say yes, you start stroking their arm. Story 53. Stand next to a group of women and wait for someone to come up and say something inappropriate. It will not take long. After they reject or chase the person away, choose the one you like and say, "Did he really just say that to you?" Story 54. I was recently at a winery with some family called the Three Foxes. We wanted our picture taken. So my uncle asked one of the employees for help. He said, "Oh wow, you must be one of the Three Foxes. Would you mind helping us with a picture?" He is married and was not trying to pick her up, but it is definitely one of the best lines I have heard. Story 55. Works only in Texas. Me. Are you from Texas? Her. Yes. Me. I knew it because every time I look at you, I feel blessed and barbecued at the same time. Story 56. Hey miss, you dropped something. Looking around, what? Your standards. Hi, I'm blah blah. Girls like to think they are the ones settling and they love to laugh. Story 57. One time, I asked a girl where she was from after flirting for a bit. Then I asked, "What is the area code there?" She replied, "Okay. What is the rest of your number?" Story 58. Honesty and genuine interest. Most people try too hard to be smooth or clever. This is unwise. If you cultivate desirable qualities honestly and just be yourself, you will succeed. Would you rather eat at the restaurant that spends millions on advertising or the one that spends millions on food preparation? Story 59. Do you want to come to Europe with me for a week? She said yes. We went, had a lot of fun, and it did not last much beyond that. 10 out of 10 would try it again. Story 60. There was an advertisement in the middle of the comments that said, 50 years of doing hard things. And I thought it was a legitimate comment. Story 61. Maybe not the smoothest, but he was the best one for me. When I get my new leg, do you want to go out to eat? That was what my late husband said to me 13 years ago. He came over the next day, crawled up the steps, as my daughter says, without the prosthetic, and never left. He had lost his leg due to health reasons. Story 62. There are a few, but it is usually not thought of, just sporadic in the moment. A girl I went to school with said, "You know, I was in class and looked up. I saw your signature on the ceiling. I did that a year ago for laughs." "Well, I am always on top of your mind," I replied. Easy date secured. Another time, on Father's Day, my coworker said, "Happy Father's Day." "You're welcome," I responded. Confusion crossed her face. "You're not my dad?" "Well, because of me, there are now two handsome men in this world. My son and I said. Story 63. Here's one that would have worked on me if I had not been a dunce. I was riding the bus to work. It was crowded, so I was standing in the rear near the stairwell. The driver took a turn a little too sharply, and I had to swing down into the stairwell so I did not knock the woman next to me over. Her, "Are you okay?" Me, "I am fine, thanks. I just did not want to end up on top of you." Her, "I would not have minded. It was so out of the blue that I think my brain short-circuited." She got off at the next stop, and I immediately kicked myself for not having asked for her number. Story 64. I have been thinking about it, and I can only think of one thing I would change about you, and it is your last name. Story 65. This one worked on me. Damn, those jeans look really good on you, but they would look better on the floor next to my bed. Story 66. Do you know there are 20 letters in the alphabet? She, "How? You are a cutie." She, "That's 25 letters. You can get the D later." Winks. Story 67. Him, "Can I buy you a drink?" Me, "Drinking is bad for my legs." He usually asks, "Why?" Me, "It makes them spread." Gets them every time. Story 68. Have you ever seen a duck fly backwards? No. How about a cormorant? Mates pickup line, 0 success rate, but I think it's great. Story 69. Are you wearing space pants? Because your rear is out of this world. Then dance like a robot with Gwen Stefani. Story 70. It was not a line. I just let the girl talk, smiled, and nodded. When I realized she was open to something physical, I looked at her lips when she spoke, then connected briefly with her eyes. It was slow and deliberately subtle. I was an introvert, so I always made sure she wanted something more. I let her take the lead. Story 71. To a girl walking her dog. Wow, she is really cute. Can I meet her? When she responds, you interrupt and say, "Oh, I was talking to your dog." Story 72. Sorry, you lost something, indicating the floor. You lost me. Then proceeding while she bends to take her hand gently and walk with her. This probably will not work, and you will only get a report to your local authorities. Story 73. Do you want to go hiking in the woods? If it goes well, you might even come back. And no, I do not just mean parts of you either. Story 74. Girl, what's my name? If she responds like that, you say you love her and want to marry her, or ask her if her father is a bricklayer. Then you say you want to work with him every day. Story 75. I thought the sink was running. I realized it was just you pooling water on the floor when I arrived. Story 76. Are you going to the party later? What party? Where is it? In your mouth, everybody is coming. Story 77. Would you like to remove these eyebrows tonight? I saw it in a Matthew Rose video about pickup lines on Reddit, presented one word at a time. Story 78. Excuse me. I was wondering if you could help me. I seem to have lost my Congressional Medal of Honor around here somewhere. Story 79. I'm older, but this works because you are complimenting her choice. Catch a woman's eye and without looking down, say, I love your shoes. Then ask, Ferragamo or Prada? Also, I was in a coffee shop and saw a woman with nicely painted toes. I said, I like your toes, French, right? She was very impressed, and I know I could have taken it further, but I am married. Story 80. Pickup lines are ineffective. They are for guys who need the excitement because they cannot deliver results. The only thing I can recall saying was when a girl was interested in me, and I had just stopped talking to someone else. Due to my measured approach and resistance, she was getting frustrated, so she asked me if I really believed in love. I chuckled, smirked, and said, yeah, of course, because of the way I love. She kept smiling, and that was the end of it. Story 81. Example. If you like a club, go look her deep in the eyes and say you don't want to bother her, just wanted to tell her she is beautiful. Then stand around and leave. She will be so happy that when you walk past her again half an hour later, she is guaranteed not to have forgotten you. Then you just close the conversation. Story 82. Used this once and got a free drink out of it. I am sure God does not make mistakes, but he must have had an unexpected incident when he created you, because he dropped a full bucket of beauty on you when everyone else got a drip or two at most. Story 83. What is your zodiac sign? He was very cute and played drums in a band. The rest is history 25 years later. Story 84. I was talking to a married woman who was traveling. We were flirting and working towards a hookup. I said, I love your ring. She said, thanks, it's okay. It was the best he could do. I said, is he a good sport? And that was all it took. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.